Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Carl Frampton. Carl, I won't keep you too long, so let's go straight into it. With Josh Taylor's move to 147, I remember speaking to and listening to former coaches of his, Shane McGuigan in particular, saying that maybe welterweight wasn't suited for him. Do you feel that welterweight is a weight where he can succeed in against Ekow Essuman, who's a tough operator?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should have made the jump to welterweight a long time ago. And if you look at the run of his last three fights, you could see he was hurting on the scales. It was hard for him to make a scale, and that was affecting performance. So I think, kind of thinking of my own career when I made the jump to featherweight, it was only 4 pounds of a difference. He has 7 pounds here between light welter and welter, but it was 4 for me. And the amount of energy I felt going into my first fight as a featherweight was just night and day compared to what I felt at the end of the super bantamweight division. So Josh Taylor, I would somewhat disagree with Shane McGuigan. Josh Taylor probably should have been a welterweight, I would say, a number of years ago. Hopefully we see a version of Josh Taylor tomorrow night that we haven't seen in a while.
You're a former top-level fighter in your own right. What do you look for in those early rounds to say, look, this is a guy who's still got what he says he's got?
Feet, really timing. Yeah, I mean, that's it, really. We just judge it in what we see. We know what we're going to get from Ekow, and we know he's going to come forward and be aggressive. But if I wouldn't like to see Josh listen to the crowd too much and engage in a fight that he doesn't have to in the first part of the fight anyway. I'd like to see Josh back to his boxing, his good distance control, his kind of in and out with his feet, and it's his feet. Josh Taylor's best attribute is his feet, and if he gets back to using them like he can, then he's going to be hard to beat at welterweight as well.
Either of these fighters that get the victory in against Conor Benn, do you feel?
Do either get the victory against Conor Benn?
No, if whoever wins, Taylor or Essuman,
yeah.
I think either will get a fight against Conor Benn.
Oh.
Both of them have called for it.
Yeah, I mean, it could. Yeah, Conor Benn's a big name, obviously, because of what he done against Eubank, but in terms of the level of opposite, I mean, Josh Taylor, you can't compare Conor Benn and Josh Taylor in terms of what they've done in their careers. But it would be a big fight for either man. It'd be a big fight for Conor Benn as well if he gets the winner of Ekow and Josh. I think if you're Josh Taylor, unless the money is really, really rewarding, which I think it probably would be in a Conor Benn fight, unless it's a silly amount of money, I'd be looking past people like Conor Benn and be looking to try and win a world title in the second division.
I haven't spoke to you since that fight, and I don't know if you saw the interview he did with Dario, the CEO, Eubank Jr. That is, he mentioned about a lot kind of happened in the aftermath, how he was severely dehydrated, and his dad also said that he was touch and go in terms of his health. Is that a rematch you'd want to see, Carl, if the two were to lock horns again at the current terms of how Eubank Jr. had to make 160 and then to 170?
It's dangerous for Eubank. I think 160's really hurt him now. I know people saying he's a 160 fighter, but he's 36 now and he has been 160 for a while. He has fought at 168. I don't think he's a 160 fighter anymore. I think he should be at 168. But it's a fight that I would like to see because I loved the first one. But it's dangerous for Eubank. It really is, and the rehydration clause as well is probably even more dangerous than him getting down to 160. I was surprised he came inside the rehydration clause actually, but he did. I'm surprised that he was able to dig as deep as he did in the last few rounds, considering all these things. But I do think that the weight division and the rehydration clause is starting to hurt him a bit.
Do you feel the same danger in Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring against world champion Mario Barrios?
Yeah, I mean, it's wrong. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be happening. Manny Pacquiao's 46, is he? Hasn't boxed in 6 years. And his last fight, we seen him box a kickboxer in an exhibition. Kickboxers can't box. I used to see world champion kickboxers come down to my local amateur gym and spar guys that were losing in the quarterfinals of the Ulster Championships and get their fucking heads punched in. It's unfair on the other guys who are waiting on a shot at Barrios to allow someone like Manny, just because of what he's done previous, to just walk in after 6 years and fight for a world title. I love Manny Pacquiao, but it's wrong from the WBC. I can't say anything else. It's wrong. Shouldn't be happening.
Do Give me the fighter's instincts. What is it from Manny Pacquiao that makes him want to return it? Is it the glory? Is it the roar of the crowd? Is it the money? What is it that makes him want to do it?
I don't know. You need to ask him himself. I mean, you'd imagine he has enough money to do him about 20 lifetimes. So maybe it's not that. Maybe he's bored. I don't really know. You need to ask Manny. But yeah, at 46, when I'm 46, which isn't too far away, the last thing I'd think about is trying to get in the ring again.
Are you sure? Because is that not an itch that sometimes it just surfaces because of a big fight or money presented to you?
No, genuinely not. I watched a spar one day. I watched Nick Ball sparring an American sparring partner, and I thought I wouldn't mind sparring again, but that was it. There's nothing appealing to me about fighting again.
Last thing I want to ask you about is I spoke to Big John Fury at length over in Budapest, and we're discussing about the fights against Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. And first of all, he said that he didn't say too much positive about Sugar Hill in this corner. Felt that Sugar Hill isn't the right man in the corner for him going forward. When you have different coaches in your corner, do you get that sense sometimes that maybe this person isn't the right fit for you sometimes, and how do you deal with those situations?
I think so, but Tyson has been with Sugar long enough that he should be able to make that decision himself. Like, John's obviously entitled to his opinion, and he knows a lot more than me about the goings on of what's going on in camp and behind the scenes. So John's his dad, and he wants his son to be the best version of himself, and he thinks that maybe it should be with another coach. Then that's what he thinks, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that someone like Sugar Hill, I mean, he's got so much knowledge, he knows what he's doing. So, well, we'll see.
Last question. The other thing he said was that Fury wasn't fighting fit in the form that he was for those fights in America. Big back, big shoulders. Wasn't that kind of version of Tyson. Is that something you feel that would be the key to him getting, if there was a trilogy against Alexander Usyk, a victory over him the third time round, or getting a world title again? Would he have to be back to that sort of form to get those high-level victories?
I mean, I have a feeling that if Fury's coming back, it's only for an AJ fight. You know what I mean? That's the fight that we all want to see. And yeah, I mean, he could jump a queue again, and Manny Pacquiao was doing after 6 years ago. He could just go straight in for Usyk if he wanted. But I mean, it's the first time I've heard anyone say that he wasn't fit in either the first or the second fight. But he
60% fit, it was described as.
Yeah, well, he looked reasonably fit to me. Tactically, I think there was changes he could have made in the fights, but it didn't look like to me that Tyson was kind of undercooked and maybe not as fit as he should have been. But I mean, John would know better. He's in the camp.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks for speaking to us out.